Apparently, there are 26 rules for readers. Not suggestions, not tips, rules. These come from Ryan Holiday, from a video he put out about 3 months ago. I'm a bit late to the party here, but I'll be going through his rules and seeing which ones I think are useful for readers, which ones I agree with, which ones I don't agree with. I became aware of this through a video that Shelly put up about the BookTube reaction to Ryan Holiday's rules. I also watched the video by Alison Talks Books about this, a response video, and Steve Donohue's response video to Ryan Holiday's rules, and Hannah's Books response video, and I'll link to all these videos in the show notes below so you can watch them for yourself to make up your own mind. My name is Jim. This is my channel, Books, Reading, which is very important here, and Stuff. So, without further ado, rule number 1, don't just read more books, read the right books. The right books? I don't believe there are right books. Maybe for each individual person there are right books for them and wrong books for them, but I don't believe there's generally right books and wrong books. If you want to read fluffy romance, read a fluffy romance. If you want to read the Odyssey, read the Odyssey. But these might be the right books for you. They're not necessarily the right books for everyone. Number 2, speed reading is a scam. I don't know about this. I haven't tried speed reading. I know there are techniques, and also if you don't subvocalize, you can read texts quicker, but I prefer to take my time with a text. I've got no interest in speed reading. I just want to read for enjoyment. Rule 3. You should always carry a book, phone keys, and a book. Before the era of the smartphone, I used to carry a book, but now on my smartphone I have the Kindle app, so I always have a book I can read when I'm on the go, when I'm travelling around. Sometimes I'll carry a physical book, but usually I'll have a physical book to read at home and an e-book to read when I'm out. Rule 4. If you're not reading with a pen, then you're not really reading. I have a reading journal, which I write in, not every day. I write in sometimes. I might write down the characters in a book, so I don't get too confused by all the different characters. I might write down some thoughts about the book, some quotes from the book. Also, with the Kindle on the phone, with Kindle books, I can highlight passages that grab me. I can also make notes as well. But you don't need to have a pen to read a book, in my opinion. Rule number 5. Mark your books. Fold pages. Beat them up. I don't agree with this. I mean, my books that I read are not pristine. Sometimes the spines are broken, but I don't fold down the pages. I don't write in the book, certainly not with a pen. Occasionally I might underline something in pencil, but the former library assistant in me doesn't want to damage the book in any way. Rule number 6. Forget the news. The best way to understand what's happening in the world is by reading books, usually old books. I don't agree with this. I think this is willful ignorance. I remember George Orwell, Eric Blair, writing in the 1930s about a classics professor he knew who wasn't bothered about this character called Adolf Hitler because he thought he could have all the knowledge he needs from the classics. Prompt 7. Don't just read books. Reread books. I'm not a great rereader. I'm quite old now, so I don't have a lot of time left, and there's lots of books I haven't read that I want to read. But this year I've only reread Christine by Stephen King. There are a few books I have that I want to reread. I want to reread The Master and Margarita because I don't think I got it the first time. I want to reread 1984. This made a big impression on me when I was a teenager. I still remember a lot of it, but in this era of doublethink, newspeak, where war is peace and everything, I think it's a very topical book for the time we're living in. And I'd like to reread some of the Dickens novels now I've read all 14 of the novels. Rule 8. Don't be a book snob. Read bestsellers. I'm not going to be reading this. But I agree. Don't be a book snob. People read what they want to read. We shouldn't look down on them for what they're reading. Rule number 9. Never read without taking extracts. That's nonsense to me. Rule 10. If a book sucks, stop reading it. I agree with this. I think it's healthy to DNF a book. I don't DNF many books. I DNF'd Verity, which I've just chucked across the room. But I think it's healthy. I think too many people have been brought up with this idea, if you start something, you have to finish it. You don't. There's so many great books out there. If you don't like a book, stop, read something else. Rule 11. The rule for quitting a book is 100 pages minus your age. So for me, that would be 39, maybe. No. Usually I give a book until 50 pages, and if it hasn't grabbed me, then I will DNF it. This book here, Cryptonomicon, I've read well over that. I've read over 300 pages. I'm still in two minds whether to DNF it or not. Rule 12. Good writers and good books are not hard to read. This is a good book, Our Mutual Friend. I want to reread it, but it was difficult for me to read. I find a lot of 19th century books quite difficult, particularly when they've got multiple plot lines like this one has, and a lot of description. I'm also finding The Voyage of the Beagle quite hard to read because there's so many things I don't know. I'm reading this at the moment, The Voyage of the Beagle by Charles Darwin, and there's just so much flora and fauna I've got no idea about, so it's taking me a long time to read this. Prompt 13. Ask people you admire for book recommendations. Ryan Holiday here mentions Warren Buffett. When he was much younger, was recommended The Intelligent Investor, and this is what put Warren Buffett on the road to becoming a multi-billionaire. Rule 14. Cool titles usually make for crappy books. I think you can find cool titles for some crappy books, but you can find cool titles for some cool books. To Kill a Mockingbird, I think, was a great book, and I think it's a great title. 15. Rule 15. Look for wisdom, don't just memorize facts. I don't think you should be memorizing too many facts. We've got Google, we can check things. Memorizing dates for history is not maybe so important as looking at the patterns of what happened over history. So there might be some wisdom in that rule. Rule 16. Ask yourself, what do I plan to do with this information? I've just read The Dawning, 33,000 BC, historic fiction set in prehistory about a group of Cro-Magnons and a group of Neanderthals. What information do I want from that? Well, I should be wary of antagonizing the Neanderthals in case they come after me. But I don't think I gleaned a lot of information valuable to my life, but I was entertained by the reading. Rule 17. In every book you read, try to find the next one in its footnotes. I rarely continue reading through footnotes. There are plenty of footnotes in The Voyage of the Beagle, but I don't think I'll be reading any of the books. Rule 18. When you find an author you love, read all of their books. I did read all of Dickens' novels, but that's a rarity. I'm tempted now, because my ranking video of Dickens' novels, I'll link it here, has done far better than most of my videos do. So I might try reading all of Jane Austen's novels and do a ranking of those, but most of the time I like to read different authors, new authors. In 2021, I read about 70 books and each author was different. Prompt 19. If you see a book you want to buy it. Don't worry about the price. That's not me. I worry about the price. I don't have a lot of disposable income. Maybe I should read the books Warren Buffett reads. And if it's on Kindle, I object to paying a lot of money for data, so I don't buy any Kindle books that are more than $3. Luckily, there's quite a few books I want that come under $3. Rule 20, don't judge a book by its cover. But also, you kind of should. I don't know what kind of rule is one where you kind of should. Sometimes the cover grabs me and it gets me intrigued in the book. There's cover. We got the river and the London River and the boat or the feather coming on there. Is this it? Would I judge Our Mutual Friend by this cover? There's been several different covers of Our Mutual Friend. Rule 21. Build an anti-library, a stack of unread books that humbles you. Here, Ryan Holiday's idea was to have a stack of books on your nightstand that kind of intimidate you because you haven't read them. That's not for me. Rule 22. Read books and writers you disagree with. This is a valid rule in a way. There's some writers I won't be reading, like Ayn Rand and Adolf Hitler, but there are others you want quite a balanced view on things, so you can read widely. If you read just authors you agree with all the time, you're going to be locked into this bubble. You want to read others, even if you're reading it and arguing with the author at the time. Rule 23. Don't be satisfied just getting the gist of things. Sometimes the gist is all we want. Sometimes we want to do a deep dive. It depends why we're reading. Rule 24. Prefaces, however you pronounce it, and forewords, they're there for a reason. Don't skip them. Sometimes with these classic books, there's spoilers in the forewords. Do you read the forewords or do you skip them? Rule 25. If a book is really good, recommend it and pass it along. I review every book I read and I make reviews on this channel about the books I read. If it's a 5-star book, I'll recommend it to you. I'll recommend it to others. I recommended this, The Lyrebird, to my wife because this is the best book I've read this year. It's the one I enjoyed the most. Finally, rule 26, find great stuff and suck everything you can out of it. I don't know if you can hear the vacuum cleaner that sucks, which seems like a good time to end this video. Suck everything you can out of it. On one read, I can't suck everything I can out of this. Maybe in a lifetime of reads, I wouldn't be able to suck everything I could out of this. So let me know in the comments what you thought of these rules. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.